What's up, YouTube? It's Jay. I'm back for another video. This is my kind of like my first video in the direction that I want to take this channel. This channel was actually previously a Dread Journey channel, but I really stopped making videos. I still got the videos. You guys could go check that out from when I first started. So I had this channel since 2013. So what I want to do with this channel, honestly, is I was sitting down tonight and I was thinking about it. I'm usually up at night, so I want to create a channel and create like a community of peoples. I want people to come in and talk about their problems. I'm going to talk about my problems, daily problems in life, daily situations, current events and stuff like that. And I just want a lot of young kids mostly to really come and gravitate towards this channel. I want to be like the older brother, kinda. It could be girls, boys, it doesn't matter. I want a lot of people to gravitate towards this channel. I want this channel to grow big. Right now I only have 135 subscribers, but by the end of this year I want to be at least at 10k subscribers. I want a lot of kids to see this stuff so I can help them in life with a lot of stuff that I've been through. So my channel is going to be about talking about my life and stuff that I went through in life and stuff that a lot of people is going through in life. And I'm going to be talking about this stuff to help stop people from going down that path in life. Because I feel as though, like, as parents, we tell kids not to do stuff. We don't tell them the full consequences that come with it. And I'm going to be like the person that's going to tell you the full consequences that come with it. So I want everyone to stick by me on this channel, help this channel grow, help bring people to this channel so people can see what's going on and I can help people. Today I'm going to be talking about, my story time is going to be talking about when I caught my record. And yes, I caught a record before. I got arrested. I went to court. I caught a felony and stuff like that. So all of that stuff is behind me today, as you guys can see. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make the video. I actually was granted, actually, let me show you guys that. Yep, that's my name right there. I was actually granted a pardon. So I wanted to start it. I was sitting and I was thinking to myself, like, hey, what can you do to help out the community? What can you do to help people's that's going through stuff similar to what I went through? Or what can I do to prevent people from going through stuff similar to what I went through? So that's what I really want to do. So today's story time is really going to be about me talking about how I got myself into this situation. And before we get into it, I just don't want anyone to feel like as though like I'm a bad person or anything because you have a record. I just want everyone to know that I'm not a bad person. Yeah, I don't want no one to think that I'm a bad person. I'm actually here to help kids and help peoples that need the help. Help peoples that do have a record, that want to turn their life around, that want to fix their life, that want to know the routes that they could go to get an expungement, want to know the routes that they could go to just do different stuff. So my story time is going to be about friends that I had. So basically, it was like 2009. I'm gonna take you guys back to when it first happened. It was 2009. I was friends with this kid. I'm not gonna say his name for personal reasons, and I'm just gonna. His name is gonna be G. That's gonna be his name that I'm gonna say. That's not his real name, but I don't want to say his real name. So I was friends with this kid named G, and me and G was like good friends. He was actually friends with my older brother first, but we all became friends like this. It was like a group of us that hung out. So it was me, G, and a whole bunch of different peoples. But we had that kind of relationship where he could stay at my house and I could stay at his house. He could stay at my house when I'm not there. I could stay at his house when he's not there. So that just gives you a ballpark of our relationship and how close we was as friends. So I really trusted him. At the time, he was having a child, and I used to help him a lot because I was the one that I had a job and stuff like that at the time. Remember, we're young kids. Pretty young. We was like 18 at the time. So I had a job and I used to help him take care of his son. And one day it was like I remember this vividly, like it was yesterday. It was like back in June of 2009. I was working at a pizza store, and this particular morning, my friend was supposed to come up there to get some money from me, so to buy some milk for his son. It was like a Safeway right next to the pizza store that I worked at. So he was coming up there to grab some money from me to buy some milk for his son. So we're texting back and forth, and long story short, boom, somebody come in the store, and they end up basically taking stuff out of the store. So when they took stuff out of the store, they ended up getting caught by the police. I don't want to get too vivid into the stuff, you get what I'm saying? Because I'm here for the sole purpose of helping people. So I just want to show them stuff. I don't want to get really too deep into details. It wasn't even really anything to get too deep into details anyways. This is what basically happened. So I was at the store. I was texting him. He was supposed to come up there to grab some money to get milk for his son. When he come up there, he ended up taking money out of the store and running out the back of the store. Once he ran out the back of the store, let me pause right now. I already knew it was him. And I was texting him like, hey, like, why would you do that? Blah, 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 stuff like that. And I was just telling him like, yo, like, why would you do that? Basically, he ran out the back door. When he ran out the back door, the police came. And when the police came, the police did an interview. And they was basically asking us like, this is the point where I messed up at, and this is what I'm saying, people. Like, honestly, in this world, do the right thing. Please do the right thing. If you ever put in a situation, don't care what no one's saying in the streets. If they call you a snitch, if they call you whatever, do the right thing, because doing the right thing from the beginning could save you a lot of time and a lot of stress in life. I promise you, and I've been through that firsthand, and I know today if something happened, I'm doing the right thing from the jump. I'm not wasting any time, because I'm a regular civilian. I'm a regular citizen right now. But basically what happened was the cops came up, the cops questioned us. When the cops questioned us, they was asking us like, hey, do you know, give us a description of the person. Do you know this person? Do you think you might know this person? And that this stuff and the third. But honestly, guys, I knew who the person was. It was two of them. One of them I knew, honest to God, on everything I love. The other one I never saw a day in my life. Until that day, I never saw him. I never spoke to him. I didn't know who he was. But the other person, the boy G, I knew who he was. So basically what ended up happening was like, the cops came, they questioned us. They asked me if I knew who it was, and I told them no, I didn't. And at the end of the when they finally, I heard over the intercom like, hey, we caught two guys and we got them. And when they caught them, the cops were saying when they caught them, they was out of breath. G and the other boy, they was out of breath, and they was basically telling the cops like, yo, they went that way. And so that's how the cops gave off a suspicion that it was them. So when the cops brought them back, handcuffed in the car and stuff like that, it was me and two other co-workers, a girl and a boy. So the two co-workers and me went up to the car, and they asked us, did we know him? And I was like, no, I don't know him. But me and the other co-worker me and the boy co-worker knew who they was, but we just said we didn't know. So apparently they had took the boy co-worker down to the station, and they had questioned him, and apparently he had said that he knew who it was and this, that, and the third. So he got himself out the way. By me knowing him personally, and by me texting him that day, I was like, hey, maybe it's better if I just say I don't know him and just let that stuff go by, because me not thinking nothing of it, like I didn't really have nothing to do with that. So I'm like, it's not gonna come back to me. So basically what ended up happening was they spoke to them, they spoke to me, and in the oral event, when they went down to the station, G and his friend, the ones that got caught for doing the stuff at the store, the police ended up questioning them, and G and his friends told the police that I was the one that set it up, I was the one that did this, I was the one that did that, and basically we was texting. So it happened in January, it happened in June, I'm sorry, not until July, August. August was when, it was funny because I was driving, and it was the day before that they was gonna come to my job to arrest me. So that was like a blessing in disguise. I had picked my sister up from, she was doing a summer program. So me and her was driving home at the time, and ended up getting pulled over by the cops. When I got pulled over by the cops told me that I had I had warrants for my arrest, and I was like, warrants for my arrest? Because I never been through anything in life. I never been through anything, like literally. So I was like, a warrant for my arrest. So he broke it down. He told me when we went down to the stations that we was gonna situate the stuff and stuff like that. And I just want to show you guys, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm lying or anything like that, but these are the charges right here that I had. But it's pardoned right now, so that's the good thing about it. So yeah, so those are the charges that I had. So when we went down to the station, I spoke to the cops. The cops it was the same cops that had questioned me the date of the actual incident. So when the cops was questioning me, they was like, hey, I thought you said you didn't know anyone the day of questioning, but come to find out that you know these people. They said they was texting you. They said you was the head leader and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I don't know anything that y'all are talking about or anything. You get what I'm saying? So they kept questioning me. And at that point I realized, like, I was like, yo, I see what everything that my mom was saying about keeping friends around you and people's not being really your friends, because this is a situation that he got caught up in, but because he didn't want to go down by himself, he wanted to pull someone else in with him, so it'll make it look like all the blame was not on him. So basically what ended up happening was they took us in. They took me and they questioned me. After they questioned me, I got the judge came on the TV. She read my rights. She read the charges, what I was facing, this, that, and the third. And what ended up happening was my mom had went up to New York to get my little cousins, because at this point my little cousin was still young, so they used to come to Delaware a lot. So at this point they was like, hey, they gonna come to Delaware. So my mom was in New York at the time when I got arrested, so they ended up taking me down to the regular jail down in the city. So when I got to the jail, they took me into bookings. So I spent like 11 days in jail, because my mom had got a lawyer, and the lawyer that she had got was working on a different case. So the day that I was supposed to go for my preliminary hearing, the lawyer had another case, so that had pushed my preliminary back a couple of days. So that ended up like coinciding with what I had going on. So I had to spend a couple extra days in jail because he couldn't make it to the first court date. So the first court date I go through for my court date, I go through my preliminary, and in the preliminary hearing, my lawyer is basically just saying, hey, like, we got this beat, we got this, that, and the third, and stuff like this. So he was basically making me feel confident, because he was like, yeah, they don't have any evidence on you or anything besides the text messages. But the text messages, I was telling the lawyer, I was like, hey, me and the person was texting on the date of the crime, but can you please get the text messages to show what me and him was saying? But my lawyer at the time was telling me, which, and this is a lie, he was telling me it's a wiretap law in Delaware that states that it could show what me and you was saying to each other. They could just show that we was texting, but it wouldn't show what we was saying specifically. It would just show that me and him was texting back and forth. So I didn't know at the time, so I believe what he said, but come to find out that's not true. I think my lawyer was against me too, honestly, guys, but I honestly got off good. I didn't get off good, but I got off better than I should have. So anyways, we get to the preliminary, and they're talking about all the time that I could face for the charges that they got against me and stuff like that. So that day when I went to court, I ended up getting a bond. When I got the bond, my mom knew a Bill's bondsman, so she ended up paying him. So I ended up getting out that day. When I got out that day, man, I fell into a deep depression, man. That was like the worst, I want to say, year and a half of my life, honestly, guys, because at that point I realized, before that I never knew what depression was, honestly, and at that point I learned what depression was. I swear to God, I learned what depression was. And it was like, at times, dude, like, because I know I was innocent, I knew I didn't do anything, but it made me look guilty. And I know a lot of people that's going to be watching this video is going to think like, hey, he's guilty too, but God worked in mysterious ways. As you guys can see, I got my pardon. So that's one of the things that's telling you, like, hey, these folks really believe everything that I was saying and everything like that, because they granted me the pardon. But anyways, back to the story. So I get out of jail. I'm stressing because I lost my job. I lost my car. I didn't want to hang with anyone. I was basically at home every day, and I was just chilling by myself. I was chilling with my brother. I was talking to my brother. I was talking to my mom. My brother was trying to keep me in good spirits. He was trying to be like, hey, everything is going to work out for the best. But me, me being me, I'm just a stressful person. Like when a lot of stuff happened, I started stressing. So I was just stressing about the whole situation and stuff like that. So I basically told myself, hey, one day I was just like, hey, whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. Me, my walking around weight was like 160. When everything happened, I dropped all the way down to 135. I was at one point with this whole situation. So I'm stressing. I even had suicidal thoughts, but I could never follow through with it because I was like telling myself, hey, man, you could never kill yourself, man. That's not the way to go, man. Just deal with everything in life and just deal with it as a man. So I was just dealing with it. So I was going back and forth to court, and one thing I always remember that stuck in my head is my mom telling me, see, this is what I told you about hanging out with people. Because my mom told me about hanging out with that same person. That same person, something that happened beforehand with him and some other people, and my mom was telling me not to hang out with him. But us being kids and thinking people's is your friend, that's what kids do. So I had to learn the hard way. So me going to court, I went to court, I went back and forth to court. So I started going to court in September of 2009, and the court ended in January. But like I said, I had a lawyer, but the lawyer, guys, if you guys are going through court issues, or if you got kids that's going through court issues, please please, I beg you, please learn the laws in your state. Learn the laws in your state so you can know what to do when stuff happens, because a lot of the times these lawyers, when they don't feel as though like they want to work on your case to their full potential, they'll mislead you in a lot of the instances. Like they'll tell you stuff like, my lawyer was telling me like, hey, he's gonna get me boot camp, he's gonna get me a first time offenders program, I'm gonna beat the case, this, that, and the third. But as we get deeper into the case, the lawyer started switching like his stuff that he was saying. Then he started saying, oh, I could get you boot camp, 6 months boot camp, and after that, after a year, your record would get a raise, and da 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 da. And the reason why I never took it to trial, guys, is because the lawyer scared me. And like I said, if I knew what I knew now, I would have definitely took it to trial. But I didn't know any better. And the lawyer was telling me, like, basically he told me, hey, man, if you take this to trial and you lose, you could possibly go to jail for 30 years. And no, 12 years, I'm sorry. 12 years. And I didn't want to go to jail for 12 years, honestly. And I felt like my lawyer was basically telling me, like, hey, they got you. And they got me on the sole purposes of the text messages back and forth. No, they couldn't see what we were saying, but they were seeing that we was texting back and forth. And then I already didn't look credible because from the initial report, I said that I didn't know them, which in all reality and truthfully, I did know one of them. So the lawyer was basically telling me all that. He was like, yeah, man, if you want to take it to trial, I'll go to trial because that's what you paid me for. But I'm letting you know right now that it's not looking good for you. So just me being how I am, I was just scared at the time. So I was just like, hey, I'm going to take the plea. So I ended up taking the plea, and what I ended up taking the plea to is robbery in the second degree, and then conspiracy in the second degree, because they was trying to say I was the mastermind one behind it. And in the plea, what ended up happening was when I went to court, the day before, I still remember the day before I went to court, my mom was like extra stressed. She was like crying and stuff like that. And the lawyer had emailed her, and the lawyer was telling her like, hey, basically tomorrow, make sure Jamal come in, and when Jamal come in tomorrow, make sure he don't have any earrings and stuff like that. Because basically, like him and the prosecutors had a conversation before, and what they was trying to do was get me 9 months in jail. So 9 months in jail, and then 3 years probation, I think it was. But that's what he told my mom. So he told my mom I was going to get 9 months in jail and 3 years probation. So the next day we going to court, my mom is crying the night before. I'm crying too. A lot of people is calling me, wishing me the best, giving me wisdom and stuff like that. I spoke to my uncle, my older friends, some of my mom older friends, and they was all just giving me like advices and stuff like that. So the next morning I went to court. I was expecting to do 9 months in jail. So when I got to court, the prosecutors was telling the judge like, hey, we recommend 9 months in jail, XYZ, probation and stuff like that. But we all had to speak before the sentencing. And since the prosecutors, the judge usually goes with what the prosecutors say, by the way. So everyone thought I was getting 9 months because the prosecutors asked for 9 months. But the judge wanted everyone to speak before she did the sentencing. So my mom got up there and spoke first. And when my mom got up there, she was basically getting up there. She was like crying. and stuff like that. And you know, it was a female judge, so I felt like what helped that day, honestly, was the fact that my mom went up there and spoke, and they connected as mothers, not as like this person is just coming up here to talk to you. I felt like they connected as woman to woman that got kids. You feel what I'm saying? And how would they want to protect their kids in a situation like this? So my mom was like basically talking, pouring her heart out, letting them know, crying and stuff like that. And then it was my turn to speak. When it was my turn to speak, I basically went up in there. I did what the lawyer said. I apologize to everyone. I apologize for the issue that happened. I apologize for the matter at hand, for wasting everybody's time and stuff like that. So when the judge came down, the judge was basically saying like, hey, they recommended 9 months, but after hearing everything, I'm not gonna lock you up for 9 months. The judge is like, hey, I'll lock you up for 30 days because the judge wanted to make it fair to everyone. So I bailed out in 11 days, but my co-defendants, they didn't get to bail out until like 30 days or 2 months after. So what the judge basically wanted to do was make sure we all stayed the same time in jail. So the judge had sentenced me to 45 days in jail, which was the time that they spent in jail. So it was 45 days in jail, and then after jail, the judge said she was going to give me 6 months of house arrest, and then after the house arrest, I was going to get probation. So I ended up getting the 6 months house arrest after I did the 45 days in jail, but I only ended up doing 32 because I already had 11 days credited from the time that I spent until I got bonded out. So when I got arrested, that day I spoke to my mom. I looked back, I was very disappointed because like I come from a good family. I come from a strong, good Caribbean background. Not to say that Caribbean people don't commit crimes and stuff like that, but me personally, I come from a good family. I never got in trouble with the laws up until that day. So I was very disappointed. I was mad that I disappointed my mom. I disappointed a lot of people in my family. At the time, I didn't have any kids, but I felt like as though like I disappointed myself too because of everything that happened. But my biggest disappointment was definitely my mom because she didn't raise me to be like that. She raised me as a very hardworking person, and she was a very hardworking person herself. So for her to look at the type of charge that it was, and knowing that we don't come from that, so it's just like a lot. So I was very hurt behind it, but I ended up getting the 30 days in jail, 32 days. After the 32 days, I came home on house arrest. I never violated. I came home on house arrest. I did my 6 months on house arrest. Everything was fine. Everything was cool. The probation officer that I had really didn't like me, y'all. She really didn't like me. And when I say she didn't like me, she didn't like me. Like, she was trying her hardest every chance she got to arrest me, but it didn't work. And one thing that I learned, instead of, I never violated, by the way. And, oh yeah, to let you guys know, this is how God is good, man. I got my charges in 2010. I was supposed to be on probation until 2015. And if I had the paperwork, I could show you guys. I got discharged from probation in 2012. Of June 2012, I got discharged from probation. I didn't have to pay no restitution anymore or anything. This is why I'm saying, man, I feel as though God put us through situations to let us see before it's too late. Because even though I caught a felony, I never had a problem with getting a job. Honestly, guys, like I never had a problem with getting a job. I never had a problem with the law again. I never got in trouble again or anything like that. And then on top of that, it's like I made it all good because I didn't have to pay back the restitution. I still had the felonies, but like I said, the felonies never played a factor as far as me getting a job. Yeah, it wasn't no great jobs. Like I worked at Burger King. No, not Burger King. I'm sorry. I worked at Pizza Hut. I worked at Domino's. I worked at Walmart. And then I went and got my CDLs. My mom's helped me go out and get my CDLs finally in 2015. So after that, my life's just been up. Like I've just been having the best of luck in the world. I've been having good jobs. I got my own place, as you guys can see. I just got my expungement, as you guys can see. No, this is my part, and I'm working on the expungement right now. So basically, guys, I wanted to say that to say, I want this page right here to be here to. I feel as though my calling in life is to help youth, help all the younger peoples, even peoples that's maybe older than me that want to find a way. Hey, like, they want to know what was the process of going forward to doing the pardon. How was my life with the record, on my record and stuff like that. And I could honestly say, guys, like, I never had a problem with being a convicted felon. I never had a problem. And I'm not saying that to brag, guys. I'm just saying that in the most modest way. Honestly, I'm saying that in the most humblest way. I'm thankful that God gave me the opportunity to never have to suffer with that, because I know a lot of people that have a record suffer and they never honestly could recover. And one of the big things I think that helped me when I went for the pardon is that these people seen that I never got arrested before that situation, and I never got arrested after that situation. So I think that helped in a major way, because people are now looking at it like, hey, maybe we do deserve to give him a second chance. This was my second chance right here. Like I said, guys, I got my own apartment. I don't have a house yet, but I'm working on it. I have my own car, and I'm gonna do a tour. I'm gonna do a video on my car too. And yeah, I just do okay in life, man. And I feel as though I'm thankful for everything that I've been through. If I could rewind time and do it again, I would like for my life to go in the same direction, because honestly, it taught me a lot of stuff. It taught me not to trust people. It taught me, don't think that you and everyone is cool because you hang around them every day. It taught me how to be a man. It taught me that in life sometimes you need to go through stuff to learn stuff, and sometimes it's good that you get a second chance. Sometimes it's good that you could get a second chance in life, and I was fortunate enough to get a second chance in life. So I want everyone that sees this video, please share this video, get this out to the youth. If you could share it on Facebook, share it on Facebook. If you could share it on Instagram, share it on Instagram, because I want the youth to come look at my channel. Everyone to come look at my channel, look at this channel for inspiration, look at this channel for guidance, look at this channel for information that you can get. Like I said, I'm gonna start doing videos on how to go about doing a pardon in whatever state. Well, I live in Delaware, so I don't know. It might be different in different states. I want to do a video on how to go about doing a pardon, how you could be a better person in life, how to go to job interviews when you have a record and still get the job, and all that kind of stuff. And guys, please, man, if you're out there in a situation to where you got in trouble with the law, and you're like a person like me, you're not really like a person that never really got in trouble before, you don't know how to deal with it because you're going through some type of depression or something like that, please stay humble, stay persistent, stay confident, and trust in yourself, man, and everything is going to be good. I promise you, because I went through that. I went through that in 2009. I just got my pardon this year in 2020. And like I said, everything's been looking good for me. I was able to travel and all that stuff. I've been to Thailand. I did a lot of stuff, man. And I know it's not a lot of stories that end like mine, but if people could hear my story, and that could give them motivation not to give up, because a lot of the times people give up because they don't have no motivation around them. And this is why I want this channel to grow so bad, guys. This is why I want this channel to get out there. This is why I want people to really look up to me as a big brother, because I want to help peoples that's troubled youth, troubled peoples that go through stuff and stuff like that. I just want my voice to be heard, man. I just want to honestly, I just want to be a helping cause in the community, honestly. So if anyone see this video, they like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it. Make sure you share it, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment. I just want people to know my feedback, want to bring people into my life, because I want to get into your life, and I want to help people that's going through stuff, that got a record, got stuff like that, that's fighting any kind of thing, fighting depression, fighting stuff like that. I'm gonna make a video about depression, because I went through depression because of that. I'm gonna make a video about a lot of stuff. It's already 30 minutes in. I don't want to keep you guys all day, because I know attention span is everything. You want to put as much information and as time as possible to keep people's attention, because I know 30 minutes, a lot of people ain't gonna want to sit there and wait for 30 minutes. But this is like kind of like my introduction videos for you guys to getting to know me and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and keep in tune with me, because I'll be bringing a lot more information that I think you guys could use and you guys might need. And I hope the youth could look up to me as an example of what to do and how you do it to get a second chance in life and stuff like that. Guys, stay blessed and subscribe.